Just as for plugins, if you want to spend some money on virtual instruments and samples, you are spoiled for choice. But often the companies that sell you those products leverage your laziness. Hi plugin generation, this is Mirko Russo from klanglab.com. Just to be clear, of course you can spend all the money you want in virtual instruments and samples, but this video might be useful for those of you who want to be an artisan of music, so to speak, and actually to create something from scratch. Okay, so let's suppose you don't want to buy an 808 style synth or a pack of sub-bass samples. This is how I do on Logic and using an external mic preamp, in this case the Heritage Audio HA73EQ, and it is rather simple. So I go in Utilities and select Test Oscillator. I choose sine wave and select the frequency of either 55 Hz or 110 Hz, which corresponds to the note A. Then, instead of using the stereo output, I use the output 3 and 4 because my mono mic pre is connected to the output 3. And I can choose to stay clean, or to use some subtle saturation, or to use a more pushed saturation, or to use some EQ to fine-tune this sine wave. Then I create a new track. I use the input 1 because that's where the output of my mic pre is connected, and I can record that sine wave, maybe something like 10 or 15 seconds. Then I can choose to apply some processing to this sine wave. That can be EQ, distortion, more saturation. In this case, I will use a saturation which actually gives a bit of a mid-rangey tone to this sine wave, and I can actually make some different versions of this sine wave and export them many times. I also use a limiter to balance the output level and also to stay safely under the 0 dB FS. Now I will use a sampler, which is the stock sampler, one of the stock samplers in Logic, the EXS24. Then I load the file exported before in the sampler and I select the root node, which is A1 if I have recorded a 55 Hz sine wave, or A2 if I have recorded a 110 Hz sine wave. Then I can adjust the dynamics of my sine wave using the attack, decay, sustain and release settings, and also the glide, which is the transition from one note to the other. And this is all I need to actually make the sine wave sound cool in some way. hope you have learned something from this video. If that's the case, don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel. Also check the info box below for the links to my Patreon page, to my music releases and so on. Thank you for watching. See you next week. Bye.